Catfish Johnny's Restaurant, serving the Lake Pennsauken and surrounding areas since 1990. For the last 33 years, we have strived to serve great food at great prices and a friendly, casual atmosphere. If seafood isn't your thing, our burgers or wings are the best around. We have daily specials too. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram for more information. All right, welcome back to another edition of the Goblay Show. I'm your host, Billy Goble, and today we have a special guest. I say special because she's my mother-in-law, but she's also the owner of Catfish Johnny's and Pat's Taps, and she's also a sponsor of the show. So, without further ado, I want to welcome Miss Patricia Galvin. Patricia, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Billy. It's nice to finally be here. I remember you put 60 chairs together in under 60 minutes.
That's
Is that
right.
what it was?
That's right. That's right.
You bet me you could do it.
Don't know how safe it was.
I would say if anybody falls off or the chair collapses, they're going to have to blame Billy for that.
Take all your medical requests.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I thought it was a really cool idea when you first mentioned it, and I know it took some time to plan it and build it and everything, but I think it's really done a lot of great things for the community. I mean, there's and I hate to self promote things, but like the trivia and the bingo, all that stuff is a great time. People want to do that kind of stuff.
Yes, they do.
They really do. And I love doing it because people enjoy it. And my premise in life since I was a kid was to make people happy. But then I had to find out that you can't make everybody happy.
No, you can't. But people are looking to be entertained.
Yeah.
Not spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, money's tighter than it's ever been.
Oh, yeah.
They can come out there. They don't have to. They can sit there and drink tea.
Yep.
Of course, we prefer if they eat or something, but you can go out there. You're not paying a lot of money. You can have a good evening, and that was another thing on our minds.
Yeah.
And then the stuff you do, just everybody loves it so much.
Well, you've got all the entertainment stuff, but the food is, it's funny how if you're not there for the first. Like you'll go to, just say you go to Chili's or Texas Roadhouse. You weren't there the first time they opened their doors. And you don't know how things have progressed. Like we tried this and we tried that. The food. We're going to try this. This sounds good. That didn't work out. Let's move on to this. And it's funny as in ironic, how things move on and they progress. And you start off like you said, going back to Catfish Johnny's, you guys used to sell breakfast. I'm like, man, I would love that now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't work at this time.
No, that's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like I love to see the progression and how people start off, well, we used to do this and we used to do that. And then you tweaked it to make it your own. Like, I mean, everybody can come up with, this is what we're going to serve, blah, blah, blah. But until you actually dive in and then you find out quickly what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, you got to find out quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. And people are going to let you know.
Yes, they are. They are. Yes, they will.
The bingo and the trivia are...
my favorite's Name That Tune.
Yeah. I can see why, because it is a good thing. I mean, it's like, it's hard on me per se, and I don't want to say it's hard because it's not, but it's hard on me to remember. This is all memorization of what songs I haven't used yet.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
I never wrote them down. So, and then, at the end of the night, you throw the list away. It's no good. You got to reset, make it all happen again. So I got to base on memory, and eventually I'm going to run out of songs. Somebody's going to hear another song like, wait a minute, didn't you do this like 5 years ago? But that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Um, that was one of my things was, and actually it's funny how this all ties in. When I said earlier about the Goblay show, I've always wanted to open a restaurant. When I was, this is like 10 years ago. I'm like, you know what? When I retire, I want to do a sports bar, and I'm going to call it Goblays because of School of Rock. There's a scene where the guy, his name is Schneebley, and Jack Black goes in for him as a substitute teacher, and the kid goes, Mr. Schneebley, and he goes, it's actually Schneebley. Like he tries to make it, he churches it up a little bit. So when I was a substitute teacher, I would say, they're like, Mr. Goble, and I'm like, it's Goblay, actually, just being funny. And but then I thought, man, how cool would Goblays be on for a restaurant? Like, hey, we're going down to Goblays. It sounds bougie, but not really.
Have you changed your mind about that yet?
No, I haven't.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't changed that. No, but that's why that's why I named it. I couldn't
about having a restaurant. Have you changed your mind?
No, I
haven't.
About that? Actually, no.
Really?
No, I would love
as hard as you've seen me work.
I know.
And all the craziness.
I know, but it's like, even though it's going to happen, you still want to do it.
Yeah, I understand that.
There's an example. There's this is totally weird, but it to prove my point. There's a series out called it's Florida, Man. So it's a Florida Man. You've heard of Florida Man?
I have.
Okay, so it's on Max, and I just watched a couple episodes, and one of them is this guy was swimming in a lake down near Bradenton, Sarasota area. They don't really give the exact location, but he's out there swimming, and he'd been through some hard times. Jobs fail after jobs failed, and he's like, you know what? I see this lake, and it's very inviting. He goes, I go out there and I swim. He goes, then I realize, I look up at the stars, and there's a constellation. It's 3 points. It's 3 stars. He goes, you know what that looks like? It looks like an alligator. And then he realizes that he's swimming in a lake in Florida, which you never do.
No.
Not
anymore.
So he looks over, and there's a gator, and it ends up ripping his arm off.
Oh my God.
This really happened. The guys, because they have obviously they have the guy, and then they do a dramatization like 911 used to do on the, like, reenact it, and they show this guy swimming out there. This is big alligator, and poor guy, he gets his arm ripped off, so he's like, it's all mangled, and he finally makes it back to shore, and he like aimlessly walked around like he was all disoriented because he lost so much blood, and he's been mosquito bit, everything's he's just been through hell. Duto Realty is a homegrown business with an eye for getting the job done right. From football games to Sunday school and everything in between, these ladies care about our community and the people in it, helping buyers and sellers in all of Florida with all types of transactions, including residential, commercial, farm, or vacant land. They do it all. They even offer auction services and sellouts to always get the job done right. So he gets back, he finally flags the guy down, and the guy's like, oh my gosh, he tells him what happened, and this guy got him to a hospital, and it saved his life because he could have died. Well, after all it's been said and done, at the end he goes, part of me still wants to go out in that water. Why? But that's what I'm saying.
Right,
like, even though I see what you're saying about all the hard work and stuff, you're like, gotta give it a try, Yeah. But that guy was adamant. He's like, he's got no arm. And he's just like, part of me wants to go back out there. I'm like, if you go back out there, you may not come back.
Exactly. I get that. I do get that. Yeah. Sometimes you just, no matter what. Yeah.
Sorry, that was probably the long way around that, but the story was
Nicole's
perfect.
going to tell you, no, you will never do that. She grew up in a restaurant.
Yeah, well, that's
yeah.
true. I'll find something
Yeah,
else.
there you go. There you go.
Did you ever know that, speaking of alligators and stuff, and because you guys handled them, did you ever hear of anybody that was attacked?
We did. Several different people. One person that we met, it was Johnny had gone to a school and his mother came and talked to Johnny. Her son was 12 at the time and he had been attacked by a gator. He was in the water and it was, I guess, like dusk.
Yeah.
And gator came up and grabbed him by the head, had him on the head. And the mother literally saved her son. She fought that gator till she got that kid's head out of there.
Wow.
She showed us the pictures. His head was just a mess. I mean, he just had stitches galore.
Right.
But yeah, she said, I wasn't letting that gator have my kid. Johnny and I sat there crying as she told the story of saving him. So yeah, that's one we personally knew of just because after we had gone to the school about the gator and gator safety, she wanted to tell Johnny her story.
Wow. Yeah, sadly, it's a part of our lives here in Florida. There's
more gators than ever now.
Oh,
I
no doubt. Yeah.
Because we swam in lakes, we swam in canals, everything else. I don't remember seeing the gators like you see in Lake Panasoffkee now. There's lots of gators out there. All the lakes.
Let me tell you, I went to Arkansas, and there's I don't remember where it was. I want to say like Beaver Dam or something like that. Beautiful lake, and we swam in there. And you better believe, every time I jumped in that water, I thought there was an alligator. Every time. But that's just.
But there's no gators in Arizona lakes.
Well,
too cold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, but here's the deal. It was all up here.
That's what I'm saying.
It was all
but
getting it. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It was all it was purely psychosomatic. It was like, okay, when you hit the water, look around because you gotta.
Yeah, because that's what you're used to here. Yeah.
Right. And you can't let your guard down.
No.
Yeah.
But I don't ever remember being scared of gators when we swam when we were kids. I don't know. Maybe we just didn't think about it.
Yeah. Did you, they don't have any springs down there, do they? Springs? Or is just all that you're closer to those seawater than.
Right. Yes. But my parents owned a cabin on Lake George.
Okay.
Here in Ocala. And that's where we spent our summers.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So there were gators there, not terrible, but the water was a lot colder up there too. Now, Lake George wasn't, but all the springs and everything were pretty cold, so you really didn't see them. But I have seen pictures recently, like on Facebook at Silver Springs and some of those up there with gators in them. That water's awful cold for gators.
You just brought up Silver Springs, and that was a gem. I want to say that was a hidden gem in Florida.
It was.
And
loved Silver Springs.
It was so cool. And I was a kid. I went later on as an adult. I went to see Willie Nelson there. Back in 2008, I went with my buddy Jonathan, and it was a shell of what it was.
Yes, it was. Johnny used to open a lot of the shows up there at Silver Springs.
Gotcha.
Talking about Willie Nelson. He opened for Merle Haggard, George Jones, and a lot of them, him and his band did up there. Oh, that's cool. And he used to play at the island there.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, over on the little island, they'd have the band and stuff over there. Dalton loved going up there with him for that. But yeah, Silver Springs, a gem. I haven't been there in many years, but I heard there's just not much left there anymore, and that's very sad.
I know they have the glass bottom boats still there, but
been on those many times.
Yes. Yeah. And like I said, that is like old vintage Florida, that's where they filmed all the Tarzan movies.
I did remember Ross Allen that milked rattlesnakes and all that there. I remember as a kid going there because, like I said, we spent our summers up on Lake George. So 6 Gun Territory in Silver Springs. Oh, yeah. There's the two places we went every summer.
Yes. 6 Gun Territory was, it was like, I don't think I was old enough to remember that. I just remember the Wild Waters and
we went to Wild
Silver
Waters
Springs.
A lot. Silver Springs.
I have a funny story about both of them. Well, we went kayaking with Sandy and Eric and the kids and Nicole. And you can launch literally from the Silver Springs parking lot. There's a launch there, and then you go down and they'll pick you up and take you back to the parking lot. But when you come out, you're literally where the glass bottom boats are.
Oh, okay.
So you come out. Well, so we get there and we're trying to not beat everybody, but trying to get in and out quick, because it takes a while to launch everybody. So this poor guy, he was like, you could tell he had been doing this for a couple hours by now. And he's dragging these kayaks up, or canoes, kayaks, whatever it was. And he's like, puts them down. He's like, just give me 1 minute. And we're like, okay, whatever. And the poor guy comes up. He's out of breath.
I'm sure.
And God bless the kid. He's like it's part of a production. He's trying to tell everybody that there may not be people that live here that come visit, and he's trying to tell them, like, so this is what happened. He comes over and he goes, he's out of breath. He goes, seven Tarzan movies. I'm like, bro, we it's all good. We don't care.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, it's cool, but we just want to go. We just get us in the freaking water.
Exactly.
But he was so into it. But it was like, I felt bad, but I never said anything. I was like, bro, just relax. Just relax. You're good. Just put the kayaks in the water. We're going to go. Is the exterior of your home or business covered in dirt, mildew, or mold? Driveway or walkway stained? Pressure King can make your siding, deck, vents, and concrete look new again with no damage. Pressure King has cleaned the exterior of houses and businesses all over Sumter County area. Usually it takes less than a day and costs less than you would expect. Call AJ at 352-457-7209. But he was like, seven. Felt like 5 minutes until seven Tarzan movies were filmed here. I'm like, oh my God.
I think that was even before my time.
Oh yeah. The Tarzan, yeah. But Wild Waters. Oh man, going to Wild Waters, that always brings back, just talking about it brings back so many memories. But we went on a youth trip. It was a Friday. We went to school. That night we had a lock-in. The next morning we were going to Wild Waters all day. So that's a recipe for disaster when you've been up all night and then you're going to go to a water park the next day. So we're in there and the kiddie pool. They had a water moccasin swimming in the.
Oh my gosh! In the kiddie pool.
In the kiddie pool.
Wow.
So there's a guy that was with us, Tim Venable. I think he took a folding chair and beat the hell out of it. Just whack. But we're like, we kind of made our own twist. We're like, yeah, he took his pocket knife out, put it in his mouth, and he dove in. He dove in and took it out. But that was another place that we grew up and
Absolutely.
went to. It was amazing.
We used to take the kids there for many years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was reasonably priced. You'd go get a pass for the summer, and 30 minutes you're there and spend the day. Yeah.
And you didn't have to go to Orlando, fight the traffic.
Yeah.
It's right off, right there.
It's right there. Yeah.
Tell me about, going from, because I've been to where you I kind of know the area where you're talking about where you lived, because I've referred to like Peanut Island and all that.
Yeah.
So go from there. You go from there to Lake Pennsauken. What kind of an adjustment did you have to make or not Lake Penn? You went to Oxford,
right?
How much different how long did it take you to get used to that kind of adjustment, I would say?
I think my adjustment from going from there to up here, which this was a lot more laid back than there, was leaving all my family behind. I think that was the biggest adjustment.
Right.
Nicole and Sandy's dad, his mother lived up here, and that's what brought us up to this area. And, but it was very hard for me to leave all my family, and my mom and dad and my sister and my brothers and everybody. I'm the only one that ever left Palm Beach County.
I gotcha.
So I think that was my biggest adjustment, not just to the area, but being away from my family. So once a month, get on the turnpike, drive down there. Did that for years when the kids were little.
Right.
Yeah, it's an adjustment. You think if all of a sudden you just left, you've been here with your family forever.
Yeah.
And you leave, it's hard.
Well, I was going to say, was there ever a point where you're like, oh my God, did we make the right move?
I don't think so. I'm glad I raised my kids here. Yeah. I really am.
Well, me too.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, no, I never wanted to go back. I never had any regrets about coming here. This just became home. It really did. That Sumter County is a great place to live, great place to raise your children. Not that they're all perfect, but I think we have a lot less problems here than South Florida and some of the other areas. So I'm glad I came here, and I'm glad my grandchildren are growing up here, and now hopefully my 2 great-grandchildren will grow up here.
I feel like this area is kind of like how, you have that favorite spot at the beach.
Yes.
And nobody knows about it yet. And then you're just waiting.
I got
you. So when are they going to find out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what happened here. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I do miss, the beach.
Yeah.
And, I still go over, but we grew up on the beach. That's what we did growing up, every weekend. You were at the beach. I do miss that.
I know you are definitely a beach person.
Absolutely. And I still try to go whenever I can. I'm thinking now when I can go again, when I can drive all the way over there. I'm still limited on how much I'm allowed to drive.
Yeah.
But the minute I can drive all the way over to Cocoa Beach, I'm out of here.
You're going.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think it's, I think I've been on more beach trips with you than I have been probably my entire life. No, not quite, but there's been a lot of beach trips.
Yes, and that's what I like to do.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Webster Ace Hardware and Farm Supply are generous sponsors for today's podcast. They have been a family-owned business for 27 years. This helpful hardware store sells items such as archery, Ariat clothing and boots, Wrangler jeans, case knives, Hammond's candies, and live fishing gear. They also have a full selection of hardware, RV supply, propane, Ben Moore, Royal & Clark, and Kingston paints. You need a barn or fencing job done? Custom barn kits and roofing metal are provided at your local Ace Hardware store. What about a new grill for the yard? Traeger, Big Green Egg, Weber, and Blackstone are found here, along with all the accessories to go with them. Stock up your workshop with DeWalt, Milwaukee, or Craftsman tools. They got you covered. Remember to go to ace.com to shop their entire line to have items shipped directly to the store. So, any future plans, what you have in store for what is something that is there something that you've always, I think you want to take a trip somewhere.
Yes, that's kind of I've never really had a bucket list. I feel like I've had a great life.
Yeah.
No regrets. You can't have regrets anyway. But I want to go to Maine, and I want to eat lobster every day, and I just want to be sick. But you already know that. So next summer, that's where we're going. We're going to Maine.
Okay.
And we're going to eat lobster.
Hopefully there's more to Maine than just lobster, but we will find it.
I think we're going to find plenty to do. We always do.
Sandy, her daughter Sandy, always has an itinerary.
Yes.
When we went to Denver, I think all the kids were so tired.
Yes, she'll have us going.
They're going to be like, so when is there the time that we just kind of stay back at the hotel and chill?
Yeah, no. She's already got books on Bar Harbor. She's already listing everything we're going to do while we're there.
Did you, speaking of trips and stuff, did you, when you were down in Palm Beach, where did you guys, growing up, where did you vacation? Or did you just vacation there?
We really didn't. I think probably as a child growing up, we went to Missouri to my grandparents a couple times. I don't think we ever really did vacations.
Gotcha.
It's not like now. Everything's different now.
Right.
Nobody used to go out to eat. You were talking about that earlier. We went out to eat if we were lucky a couple times a year growing up, you know. You didn't do vacations. People just didn't do like they do now.
Right. I think it's funny how, you know, it's not this way a lot anymore, but it used more so than it used to be. But you'd always have the dad go, if they were going on vacation, they went to the same place. Like there's people that go,
I got you.
obviously, you know, who, you know,
Yes.
there's people that go to the beach every year. They go to the same beach. They go to the same place every year.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got to thinking about that the other day. You know, people go, it doesn't have to be the beach. It could be the mountains or whatever. And I got to thinking, I was watching a documentary about, it was a nature documentary. And it was about the wildebeest out in Africa.
Okay.
And they go from one side of Africa to the other side. And they take the same route every year. And then they got to go back.
Right.
So this is a migratory animal instinct that we have in our DNA.
Yeah.
That we go from point A to point B, and it might be every time. But I'm thinking, okay, you go to cross this river twice a year, and somebody ain't making it home because there's crocodiles in there.
Exactly.
I would probably try to find a better route, but that's something I'm watching this. I'm like, man, they got to be smarter than that. But then we do the same thing by going. How many times we've been on 75? We're like, man, I wish we wouldn't have taken 75 up here. I mean, that seems like to be the only way there.
Right. I got you. Well,
Isn't
you
it
know,
funny?
some places are comfortable, so that's why you go back to the same place.
Right.
But we do different things every year. We have, you
Right.
know, for a while now, found different places to go, and that's good too.
Right. Well, let me tell you, I've actually flown more with you guys than I have in my entire life. So I can say that honestly, and that's a good thing because I kind of got me out of my shell.
Yeah, because you didn't like the first time we flew at all. I remember that. I think you had a little bottle in the car driving down there to have a few drinks before you got on that plane.
Anything to calm me down.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that. I think it's the fear of the unknown and the fear that you're not in control.
Well,
I feel like if I'm driving, I have more control of the situation than I do if I'm just sitting in the back. You know, obviously,
I understand that.
That's my mentality about it.
That's why you're always the driver too.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is true.
And we all get to tell you how to drive and where to go and everything else. You have like 6 backseat drivers.
Yes, and I can hear Patricia over everyone.
Of course.
She tell me where to park,
how to go through that garage. Yes.
Christmas in St. Augustine. I'll never forget it.
Yeah,
I'm like, Patricia, would you like to drive?
Sorry, I'm a control freak. What can I say?
It's okay. It's all good. It just, you know, it's funny how little things like that, you know, like you're, you know, especially like a fear like of flying, you know, it took me the longest time because I guess maybe I just, you know, there'll be, you know, people go their whole lives without going, you know, flying.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to take that step. And that first time I ever flew, we went to Colorado Springs. I was with my parents. We went to see my brother in Colorado Springs. And I remember, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I look over and at the time, right now she's 13. She was probably 6. No, 6 or 7. She's like, she's got like a drink. She's like, not an alcoholic drink, but like a Pepsi or something. She's like, has no clue. She's like, we're going on an airplane. And I'm like, man, why couldn't I just have that same carefree, you know, that it's just that phobia. It's an actual phobia.
Yeah, it is. I get that. See, I can't sit by the window because I don't want to look out where we're going. The boys, that's where they want to be. They want to be looking out the whole time.
Yeah.
I like the aisle.
Yes.
And then I'm just like in a vehicle somewhere.
Whether your water is supplied by a public municipality or a private well, For residential or commercial use, Purified Water Services LLC has the solutions to provide you with simply clean water. We offer a complete line of professional water filtration equipment and accessories. Soft water makes a difference you can see and feel. Water heater and appliances last longer with less maintenance. Iron and H2S filters eliminate iron stains and offensive rotten egg odors and protects your water softener equipment from iron fouling. No matter what your problem is, Purified Water Services LLC has a solution. Contact Kenny Williams at 352-446-2709.
I'm not afraid to fly. I just don't like looking out and seeing where we're going.
Right.
Till we're landing, then I'll look out.
Right. Well, you better believe when we go somewhere and I get I want the map up. I want to see how far. Yes. I want that plane. I want to see how long we got. And what's funny is last Thanksgiving, we went to Wyoming, we went to Jackson Hole, which was a beautiful area.
Probably one of the best trips we ever took.
My God. Yes. If you ever get a chance to go to Wyoming, go to Jackson Hole. You don't have to go during the holidays. Just go. It doesn't matter when you go. You're going to love it. But we went, and the only problem is pretty much every flight I've ever done was a straight flight. This was a connecting flight.
Yeah.
So we had to fly to Dallas, get off, get on another plane, and we had to get on a smaller airplane. When I heard smaller airplane, I started to panic a little bit. When they said it was an Airbus, I'm thinking, oh my God, an Airbus? Okay. So, and then when you fly into Jackson Hole, you were actually flying into the Teton National Park, part of Yellowstone, near Yellowstone. And they won't expand it, make it any bigger. So the runway's only so big. And when you land, they hit the brakes. I mean, you were like, sure. Oh. So I'm waiting to have somebody in my lap. Jace over here like, oh my God. Jace, you're 3 rows back. What's going on? But
I love the airport there, though.
Oh, it was.
I mean, just
3 terminals.
Yeah, it's about the size of my restaurant.
Yeah, it was like the show Wings. You're expecting the mechanic to walk out with a wrench, like, well, let me go hit the propeller again. You're like, oh my gosh. But once you walk outside and you see the Tetons in the background, oh my gosh. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
So your anniversary party is coming up.
It is.
Which is what day is that?
Well, we're actually doing a weekend.
So the weekend.
Anniversary party on the 15th, which is Friday night. We're going to do stuff in the restaurant on that Friday. We're going to have some food specials, cakes, some gift card giveaways in there. And then Saturday night, we'll have Brandon Moon for our anniversary party.
And tell me a little bit about Brandon Moon. Who is that?
Okay, Brandon Moon, we've known them forever.
Right.
It's John Johnson and Jess Locke and Derek Rogers and Matt. Forgive me, Matt.
Sorry, I didn't put you on the spot.
They played our 5th anniversary at Catfish Johnny's 30 years ago. They were, young. They were together and had a band back in high school and all that. And they still don't play together all the time, but they're still good friends. And they come together for anniversaries for us and different special occasions, kind of like a band reunion also.
Right.
And so they're playing our party for us out there. They're just awesome.
Yeah.
They're awesome. So we expect to have a busy weekend both days. Those that don't want to party and stay up late can all come in Friday, be a part of our celebration that we're doing on that day. And then those that want to come and listen to music and drink beer and have a good time, come in on Saturday nights.
Gotcha. Yeah, Brandon Moon's like the first time I ever heard him. I don't think it was it might have been the full band. It might have been, I'm trying to think. They were there for an anniversary party. Because they had the whole band. Now, when was that? Do you remember that? That was...
Well, was it last year or year before? One of them was sick, and Big Red from...
That's right. Big Red from...
97.5 or 93?
Or 93.7. One of the... Yeah.
He played bass for them. He came in.
That's when it was. Yep, yes. That's exactly.
And that's the only time that we didn't have all four of those together, but something happened at the last minute.
Gotcha.
And he came in and played.
Gotcha. John Johnson does a great job. And you have... speaking of John Johnson and company, but you have other singers that come through the Pat's Taps.
We do. Last night we had Josh Brown in there. Great. He went to school with my grandson and all the kids that we knew. Just a great singer and entertainer. And we have different ones.
Right.
I'm just thinking because of last night. He was there. John J.R. Reich. He plays in there a lot. Shelby Lauren, I think she's here this weekend. So we have different ones.
Gotcha.
That come in and play. We try to have music one night a week out there.
Gotcha. I was going to ask you about growing up in South Florida. That I don't want to say you were there, but during the Kennedy stuff, were you around in that time with the? Because I know he had a house down there.
Yes, he did over in Palm Beach.
Right, because someone told me that, someone told me it was when we went to Peanut Island. It was supposed to be Peanut Island was supposed to be connected to his house. For almost 30 years, 75 Chrome Shop has been a family-run business with a dedicated team of longtime employees. We stay ahead of the curve in the ever-changing trucking industry, providing top-notch customer service and product knowledge. Whether you're looking for the latest chrome accessories or hard-to-find parts, we've got you covered. We offer aftermarket chrome for all big rigs, custom vinyl lettering, acrylic signs, and tags. Our 10,000 square foot facility, the oldest chrome shop in the South, houses a mechanic shop for oil and tire changes and chrome installation. Plus, we have a huge selection of lights for every vehicle on the road. Don't miss our annual truck show every April featuring over 200 trucks and family-friendly entertainment. Visit 75 Chrome Shop today. Your truck's new best friend. Because he has a house. They were going to tunnel it.
Oh, okay. They may have but they didn't.
Right, but then he was assassinated, so they didn't. They're like, well, there's no need.
Okay.
If how many you've been to Peanut Island? You said?
Oh, many times. In fact, last year when I was there, my girlfriend Debbie, her brother, took us on the boat to Peanut Island.
Oh, okay.
It had been years since I had been there, but yeah, we used to go to Peanut Island. There was nothing on it then. Now it's a lot different.
Gotcha.
But Peanut Island, everybody knows that. Singer Island, all that area. That's where we hung out.
Yeah, Singer Island is it was a vacationing spot from the Kavanaughs.
That's right. We talked about that.
Right, my family from Pittsburgh.
Right.
That we used to go, and I would be there almost like a nanny, but the Manny. Singer Island's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Palm Beach Shores, all that area there.
Jupiter's nice too. Yeah.
That's where I lived before we moved up here. Last 6 years in Palm Beach County, I lived in Jupiter.
I gotcha.
And that's another place that's just so grown up.
Yeah, that area has gone. The value of the property and everything goes up, and I'm thinking, like not just that area, but like I watched a podcast about Tampa, and I didn't realize how big Tampa was getting. Like it's like you think of Tampa, and we're on the outskirts of it, so it's not as big as you think it is. We think,
right?
But you go there, and this podcast explains that, like, they gave a stat saying, like, if they were to just like port stuff, they're like 17th in the world or something like that. Like, he had some kind of stat. What? Yeah, I have to look it up. I mean, don't hold that to me, but I didn't even know that was even like remotely like something that they could even say. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But apparently Tampa does a lot of, obviously that's a big area for the port as itself, but, did you guys fish a lot when you were down there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big thing. We used to go down to Key West, go lobstering, fishing. Yeah. We always ate fresh fish and lobster. Now that stuff's so expensive, but growing up, my dad liked to fish and
right.
So we ate fresh stuff all the time.
Now, I've been told that the Key West lobster is not real lobster. But I mean, I'm not saying that. I've been every time I said, well, because my granddad would go down there when we were kids. He would do lobster down there, and he'd bring them back, and I would say, yeah, I've had lobster, and I've had it from Key West too. And they're like, that's not real lobster. And I'm like, well, they may not
think they are.
Maybe they're talking about the
Florida
size.
Lobster, yeah.
Yeah, it's small.
There's it's like anything that goes anywhere else. But yeah, ate a lot of lobster growing up.
Yeah,
Florida lobster.
Yeah. And did you actually go and get them, or did somebody else?
No, we went down several times.
Oh, okay.
West. Yeah,
okay.
We got them ourselves.
Is that shallow water? Or I've never really.
Gosh, you're asking me.
Come on, Pat.
Yeah, you're asking me like when I was a kid growing up there. I think I was probably in the boat. My dad was the one getting the lobster.
Okay. I'll drive the boat.
Exactly.
Dad has a couple beers.
Yeah. My dad was a fisherman, a big hunter, all that. Yeah.
Back then you could get away with it.
Yeah. We ate everything growing up, from fresh to deer and hog and everything else.
Right. Yeah. Well, at that time they probably didn't have, it wasn't as developed, and they probably could have, there was a lot more wildlife there around in the surrounding areas, because
it's kind of like here. They
keep pushing
developed a lot of the swamp.
Yeah.
That
my
dad hunted on with swamp buggies because it was so wet.
Right.
And that's all built up now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Patricia,
are we done?
You know what? I think I picked your brain. It
went by quick.
Yeah, it did go by quick.
Yes.
I just feel like I just wanted to promote you guys on the business.
I appreciate that.
And like I said, I when I came up with this, I needed sponsors. You didn't hesitate. You didn't, beat around the bush. You just kind of, you've always been very, very, very supportive. And I'm sorry that it took me so long to get you on here.
Well, that was both of us. It wasn't just you. It was me too.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to promote yourself and find sponsors. I mean, normally several podcasts have people do that for them, but I do everything. I had well, besides my editing, I got my editor here today. I got to give him a shout out.
Go.
Logan Lovett. He's amazing.
See, Johnny was the one that did stuff like this. He loved doing TV or radio,
Yeah.
And I just never did. So this is my first time, Billy.
Well, I think you did great.
Being the spokesperson.
I think you did great. Yes. And if you guys ever come to the restaurant, say hello to Pat. She'd love to talk to you.
Please do. Yes.
Yeah. She's not one of those people that where she's too busy for it. She'll take time. She may leave you mid-sentence to go fix something. She's very
Yes. I'm kind of a squirrel, as my girls call me.
I didn't want to say that.
I was surprised I was able to sit here still this long, Billy.
I'm very proud of you. I really am.
I figured you would be. You didn't give me that break like you said you were going to do.
Well, I figured you're going with it. Let's just keep going.
There you go.
But
Absolutely.
But thank you for what you do for the community. There's a lot of things that you do that go unnoticed because you don't want credit.
Right. And you're not supposed to.
Well, right. But I'm going to give you credit, even though you don't want it. I'll just give you the credit now. But
thank you.
And it's not because I'm married to your daughter. No, I'm kidding. It's you do a really, really good job there. And I'm thankful to be a part of the family.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Yes, I'm also glad to have a residency at the I feel like Garth Brooks now. I'm like, I got a residency at the old Pat's Taps.
There you go.
So check out for those dates for trivia. Name that. Well, we don't want to say name that tune. We gotta. That's a gym. That's implied. But bingo nights as well, and the cornhole tournaments. They're always a good time. I help with that too.
Yep.
It's a good time, and I think what we're doing and what you're doing is it's a good thing.
Catfish Johnny's is on Facebook and Instagram. Pat's Taps at Catfish Johnny's. Same thing on both of those. You can look on there and tells you when Billy's going to be there and what we're doing and what we got going on all the time.
Well, you heard it, guys. I'm going to switch the camera so I can do an end to this thing. Thanks for joining us. I want to thank Pat again for being on the show and a great sponsor, not a good sponsor, a great sponsor. And but until next time, we'll see you guys down the road. All right.